It's the Garnet Trust Hour.
And our guest, who unfortunately got held up by a train for a few minutes. Now, we were talking about a few minutes ago, it's going to be weird to say former Gamecock tight end Nate Atkins. Welcome to the studio, Nate. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
Some of the trains, you can try to go around, and it like you run into the same train, like they trick you.
And like I pulled up, and it was just now starting. Like I heard it, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like the thing just went down.
107.5 The Game.
And welcome into the Garnet Trust Hour on 107.5 The Game. Tyler West and Chris along with you. Today's special guest, Gavin Casas from the Gamecock baseball team, fresh off of a 19-1 victory last night over USC Upstate at Floor Field up in Greenville. Gavin, I'll be honest with you, I was worried you guys weren't going to stop scoring runs where the game would end, where you could actually be in here with us today. What a beatdown last night.
Yeah, it was great to be a part of.
5 RBIs for you last night. I can't remember, was it the first ball? I thought that one was going out. It missed it. I couldn't quite tell. It was really close.
Yeah, no, I think that was a second hit.
Second hit, yep.
I hit a fly ball to left field. I mean, I think he probably should have caught it. He jumped a little early,
yeah.
But I'm just glad it got down. I got 3 RBIs out of it, so just happy about that.
I mean, there's kind of a trend starting here. So we had James Hicks for Garnet Trust Hour. The day before, I think he made his first start.
That was the day after.
Day after.
Well, yeah, the day before. No, he made his first start the day before Garnet Trust Hour,
yes,
right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and pitched great. Now, you had 5 RBIs the day before you're on here. So we've got a trend going. You don't know this. Chris and I were at the game on Sunday, and you almost took out his wife with your opposite field home run ball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so
you it came right at us. We couldn't tell. Like, I really thought at first I was like, all right, that's in the pen. I was like, no, it's still rising, still coming at us. And then I was like, that's at me. And then it went a little bit to the left. And if you go back and look on either the TV copy or the social media clip, you can see a woman diving almost into the bleachers, and that was my lovely wife.
You got to tell her to bring her glove next time.
Yeah, she was diving away from the ball, not diving.
If she had a glove, she wasn't going for it.
Is that as far of a ball as you've hit opposite field? Like that thing went. The Clemson game on Sunday into the bleachers.
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of the furthest balls I've hit opposite field. I mean, I've watched the video pretty extensively. I think I might have a slight problem with watching it, but. No, I was pretty impressed with that, and I think it went like almost 400 feet. There was like 392 feet or something, but no, I hit it pretty well.
It kept going, like it just it kept. I don't know, that thing had some rise to it or something. But so how many times have you watched the video? Be honest, nobody's listened, but
I mean, if nobody's listening, probably definitely over 50 times.
So are you just like, man, I stroked that, or is it more like you're trying to figure out, all right, how to recreate it, or like some of both?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of admiration and also what you're doing right. I kind of like to repeat success. So whatever I did or whatever I felt during that at bat, I try to repeat as best as possible.
We had this question for later, but since we're talking about home runs, I'm going to just go ahead and ask. So, all right, what is the chef's kiss celebration? How did that come about? Where did that come from? Give us some background on that, man.
Right. So I think everybody in MLB and everybody around baseball has their own thing that they do, right? They either do like the cross or they point up to the sky or, something. And I was kind of pondering on what was going to be my thing. And for me, I really enjoy cooking, and I cook for my friends sometimes. I cook for my family, and, I was like, chef's kiss, like, I don't know. That's what came to mind.
I can't tell you how excited they both are knowing that you cook, because that's definitely going to come up later in the conversation.
Chris is making notes over there. I just saw
it. All right, what kind of, writing down recipe ideas for Gavin and everything. So the chef's kiss, like, do you say anything with it, like under your breath? Like, do you say like spicy meatball, or is there anything like that?
No.
Will you do that next time? You just
Yeah, I'll get it.
Spicy meatball. Just
I'll say spicy meatball for sure.
Okay. I'm counting on it now.
So is that the thing from that? Like the chef, is it locked in? That's going to be your thing every bomb?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it. It gives good content, good pictures. So
yeah, it makes great pictures, actually.
It gives great pictures. And by the way, we're not going to announce this yet. We're going to let the people wait. This is part of good content, right? It's a teaser, radio teaser. Speaking of the chef's kiss in the picture, got a little announcement that we'll do segment 2, segment 3 here on the Garnet Trust Hour with Gavin, where you can, you can be a part of the chef's kiss experience. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know what y'all are talking about, but I'm excited to hear about that. Gavin, you've been on a roll lately, man. What you can take this question however you want. What has this experience been like so far? You transfer in, you start getting settled in, and you just seem to be in a groove. How does that feel?
It feels really good. I mean, I've dealt with a lot in the past year. It's definitely been a roller coaster, like a bunch of up and downs. But coming to Carolina has probably been the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's really allowed me to flourish and become who I am today. It's allowed me to grow as a person, as a player. Allowed me to meet new people, meet new coaches. And it's kind of incredible. We're on a really good run right now. I feel good. Body's healthy. Knee feels good. So I'm just happy to be here and just happy to be a part of it.
And what went into that decision to transfer from Vanderbilt to South Carolina?
Honestly, it wasn't really my decision. I was asked to leave Vanderbilt, and going into the portal, I was 3 weeks out of surgery. I didn't really know who was going to pick me up because out of high school, I was like so narrow-minded on going to Vanderbilt that I didn't really talk to any other schools, which in my eyes, looking back at it, was a mistake. So I didn't have any other contacts as far as like big Power 5 schools. So I actually DM'd Alec Boychuk on Instagram because I had played with him like earlier in my youth career, and we kind of kept in touch. And I kind of reached out asking if they needed any infielders, whatever, like players. I didn't really care what my role was going to be. I just kind of knew that I wanted to stay in the SEC and that I wanted to go somewhere warmer than Nashville because Nashville was brutally cold. And South Carolina, in my eyes, made the most sense. And he kind of got me in contact with Coach King, and it kind of got the ball rolling from there.
When you mentioned that you've been able to flourish here, obviously you're a talented player. Like, go back and look at some of what you did at Vandy, what you did at the high school level. But what do you think has kind of unlocked that? Was like the change of scenery that helpful, or was it coaching, or just a combination of everything?
I think it was a combination of everything. I mean, the change of scenery was definitely nice. It was definitely a big jump from the structure of Vanderbilt to here at South Carolina. They kind of go by the saying of coaches fed, player led, I think. But yeah, I mean, they welcomed me with open arms, and they kind of let me do what I need to do in order to be on the field every single day. And that's kind of been a big contributor to the success that you see today.
How has this team been able to come together? Because it feels like there is this kind of, I don't know if odd is the word, like odd mix where you've got several, you got a guy like Wimmer who's been here a while, returner. You've got transfers like yourself. You've got freshmen making an impact as well. So guys have come from different backgrounds, different spots, different ages, but y'all really do seem to have kind of clicked together. What can you attribute to that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a huge mix of guys. We have dudes going on their 25th birthdays, and we also have dudes who just had their 18th birthday. So, I mean, the age demographic is definitely pretty wide. I think the coaches did a great job with us in the fall of like really making us work together. I mean, we had a few trips to Fort Jackson, which we had to do a bunch of like team stuff and like team-oriented things where I think the recruits that go there have to do in their first few days just to build a camaraderie between each other. I mean, everybody the way I see it is like we're a bunch of guys who've had past experiences that have molded us into what we are today. And those experiences have ultimately contributed to who we are as people. And it's a good mix of people. So
the Fort Jackson trips, I got to imagine maybe it's kind of fun, but also a little bit grueling, a little bit of a grind. Can you tell fans a little bit more, like some more details on what that actually entailed? Yeah,
so I'm not going to lie. I didn't participate the first few times just because I was still coming off the knee injury and they weren't going to take any chances with it. But I mean, I was there, but I wasn't in it. But it looked terrible. They were jumping through obstacles. I remember one of them, they had to like skull drag their face through the dirt and like literally like worm crawl through the dirt. And like, I think our strength coach cut his forehead open on a rock. But, no, I mean, there was a bunch of obstacles that were grueling, were very, very, very tough to get through. And, they got through them and they ultimately got better for it.
So y'all strength coach, so Billy Anderson, was in there doing it with y'all?
Billy Anderson was in there doing it with us.
Hanging in there?
Hanging in there. He was, I think he might have been a replacement for me because they separated us in teams, and I think he got kind of thrown into the mix, but, he did it. He did it with a smile, and we were fired up.
We'll continue our conversation with Gavin Casas on the other side. You're listening to the Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game.
It's the Garnet Trust Hour
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Even better than I was the last time, baby.
First pitch. There's a high drive towards left field. Don't think he got enough of it. Back to the edge of the track. Now drifting, and he didn't catch it. He jumps up. It looked like it hit off his glove. Carolina is going to have 3 runs, and I think it's got to be a double. I don't think it was a blatant error or anything.
That was Tommy Moody last night on 1320 WISW with the call of Gavin Casas' 3-run RBI in last night's 19-1 win over USC Upstate up in Greenville. And Gavin, going into this season, Coach Kingston talked a lot about wanting to shore up the offense and wanting to score more runs and bringing guys like you as well as several other transfers to accomplish that. Are you surprised by how many runs you guys have been scoring and how well you've been able to hit the ball so far this season?
I'd be lying if I said no. It's definitely been something that has been special to be a part of. We knew coming into this year that we had to make a change in the program. We incorporated a lot of new pieces, a lot of new transfers. I think we got older from last year, which is not something that's super common. But it's been kind of piecing the puzzle together, and so far it's been working out.
Are you surprised by your own individual production? I mean, right now I'm looking at it. You're tied for 6th, which is a weird. Like it's the 4th highest total in the country with 8 home runs. Brock Wilkin of Wake Forest has 11 in 14 games, but you have 8. Are you surprised by your own home run hitting production?
No, I'm not. I put in a lot of work, and it's something that has been a long time coming. I haven't really gotten opportunities the last 2 years, but I know what type of player I am, and I'm just glad to get an opportunity.
Take us back to high school and the recruiting process. I know you mentioned earlier you were kind of narrow-minded and set on going to Vandy, but just like you as a player, did you have a lot of like draft buzz coming right out of high school?
No. So I was super narrow-minded. I wanted to go to Vandy. I didn't want to go anywhere else. Mm-hmm. I wanted to live out my career as a Vandy boy or whatever that is. But the draft was something that was there. My brother went through it. He was drafted in the first round. But my dad, he ultimately said one of my kids is going to college, and I was his only other kid. So there was no draft talk out of high school.
Well, I'm sure at the time you also probably thought, well, I'm doing the right thing. Like I'm being loyal to Vandy. Like I've focused on this. Why would I talk to other teams? Why would I build relationships at other places. And like you said, I guess when you hit the portal, you were kind of like, all right, like where am I going to go? But it seems like fate kind of got you to a place that it's worked out, man.
Yeah, I mean, God works in mysterious ways, and he gives blessings where you would never think of, and this was definitely a blessing. I think the most important thing for me to take out of this, or like for anybody to take out of this, is like maintain your relationships with your friends and like the people you know when you're younger, because you never know how they're going to help you when you need it.
What have you taken away or learned from your brother, like in going through, not only the draft process, but now just him going through the minors and all that kind of stuff?
I've learned a lot. From what he's told me and from what I've seen, the minor leagues is a grind. I mean, it doesn't get fun until you make it to the major leagues. So, I mean, baseball is a game. You got to take it one game at a time. There's a lot of games. I think in the minor league season, you play 140. Major league season, you play 162. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of, it's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be highs and lows, but it's important to maintain those as low as possible and kind of stay level-headed throughout the whole process.
You mentioned that you like to cook. All right, your brother does too, from what I've read. Who's the better cook?
I'd probably say I'm the better cook.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you read this story? So there's this really cool story in the Boston Globe about him. He says he has a snack before every at-bat. Do you do that too?
No, I actually, I do not eat during games. I don't know why. It's just, I think I play better hungry.
He says he gets some healthy fruit snacks or a banana.
Before every AB?
Before every AB, that's what he says.
Is that true?
I did not know that.
That's what he says in the story. Cool story on Boston. This is a recent story from this month. And then they even go to the grocery store with him and do some shopping with him. And then he goes and cooks. There's some look, here he is. Picture of him cooking up some stuff.
No, that's crazy. I've never seen that article, but no, I know he cooks. He cooks a lot of outside probably healthier things, and he's more of the make a huge salad and eat it kind of guy, but I think I'm more of the grill type.
She's a grill master.
Yeah.
Is that your...
Given the fact he's hitting 8 home runs this season, I think staying hungry is working for him.
This is a good strategy. So what's your go-to on the grill? You steak guy, burgers?
Anything, pretty much.
Any meat?
Yeah. I'd probably say the specialty steak, a nice ribeye. That'll go well.
I'm hungry. 10:30.
Are you a pretty healthy eater type, or are you just not really?
No, I have to be. So I think my brother and I both grew up pretty heavy set. In 8th grade, I think I want to say I was 5'9", probably 220, which is like a walking bowling ball. But I had to. No, that was senior year.
Okay.
No, yeah, that was.
We're pulling up old pictures.
No, I have some pictures, but no, that's funny.
There's a young Gavin right there.
Yeah,
oh wow,
that was my freshman year. So my 8th grade to freshman year, I actually went on this crazy diet, which probably wasn't really good for me, and I lost 40 pounds in 3 months, just because that was around the time that my brother had committed to Miami, and I was nowhere even close to even being seen by college coaches. And I think growing up, you always get told about the eye test, and that college coaches, you pass the eye test, and I definitely wasn't passing the eye test. So there was some changes that needed to be made. But yeah,
what did that diet look like?
It was probably 8 ounces of chicken a day and romaine lettuce, and that was it. It was terrible.
I was about to say, that does not sound fun at all.
Terrible.
Any no dressing?
No dressing. It was
lettuce. Okay.
Yeah, it was chicken Caesar salads with no dressing. Yeah,
that's rough, man.
It was awful.
Now, were you still at that point? Were you still pretty good at baseball? You just needed a little bit of a body makeover.
I mean, the talent's always been there. The bat to ball skills has always been there. But yeah, there was definitely a point where, the field got bigger, and I did too. So I wasn't moving very well. But Yeah, no, like I said, changes needed to be made, so they were necessary, and I made them, and I'm glad I did. It probably wasn't like the healthiest way, but it was like the only way that, you know, a 14-year-old at the time could like conceptualize like, okay, I need to lose weight. So, and I need to lose weight quick.
Losing 40 pounds, how much did that help you with your speed?
So it definitely helped me a little bit. I felt like a baby deer almost just because I had lost the weight and grew. So I think in that time span, I went from like 5'9", 220 to like 6'1", 168 or around there. Yeah, but it was like I had like a whole new body, so it was weird.
Well, and now you're listed at 6'4", 230. First of all, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes they'll fudge it, little up or down. So at what point were you like, all right, now, so you go to 6'1", 168 early in high school. When did you kind of settle into where you're like, not a baby deer anymore?
Right.
Okay.
So I'll just tell you the progression. The progression for me was I was like 6'1", I think freshman year, like walking in on campus, I think I was like 6'1", like 175. And then by the end of my freshman year, I had gone with, I had been lifting like my whole life pretty much since I was like probably like 10 years old. But my freshman year of high school was probably the biggest jump just because I worked out with Mike Smith, who is now the head coach of American Heritage down in Plantation. But he was a huge factor in that, and I think I gained that year almost. So I was 175, and I think I ended the year at like 200 or 220 or something like that. So I think it was like 30 pounds, 40 pounds, something like that. But that was that year, and then I kind of stayed at 225 throughout my whole high school career. And then I grew a little bit when I got to Vandy. I think I was like 6'3", 225 to 220. I think I lost a little bit of weight over there just because it's like boot camp. But coming to Carolina, I walked in at 6'4", 240, and I lost 10 pounds over the fall. And like coming into spring, I was 230.
We'll come back on the other side with more of our conversation with Gavin Casas on the Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game.
It's the Garnet Trust Hour
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Back in on the Garnet Trust Hour, Tyler West and Chris along with you. Special guest today from the Gamecocks baseball team, Gavin Casas. And we were talking about this before the break. You know, you're back in 8th grade, not really getting a lot of attention. You described yourself as a bowling ball. You get to high school, start to shoot up a little bit, lose a little bit of weight. At what point in your high school career did you finally realize, like, hey, I'm pretty good at this baseball thing. I might have the opportunity to play at the next level?
I always felt like I was pretty good at it, and I always knew that I had the opportunity to play at the next level. It was just a matter of the work that I put in and the results that came out on the field. But having an older brother and seeing his successes and seeing his process and knowing that I was doing the same things that he was doing, it was just a matter of time for it to click.
And American Heritage, where you went to high school, is that a program that consistently puts people in college baseball, getting drafted in the MLB? Was it a good program to be at for that kind of thing? Oh,
absolutely. It's consistently been, I don't know, it's consistently been one of the top programs in the state. We have guys like Eric Hosmer, Devin Marrero, obviously my brother, Mark Vientos, Zach Collins. Those are just a few guys that went there, but I mean, there's definitely a bunch of guys who have gone to the next level. I think my senior year we had 15 D1 commits, so it was a pretty good place to be.
Exciting announcement that we teased earlier. Garnet Trust has released its very first trading card called Garnet Trust Moments. And Gavin, congrats, you were featured on them. Pretty cool, huh? So if you want to go check those out, you can go to GarnetTrust.com and click on Shop. GarnetTrust.com, click on Shop, and it's right there on the front page introducing the Garnet Trust Moments card. It's a trading card featuring the moments we never want to forget and the student athletes that make it all possible. And there's some really cool ones on here. So it features a photo taken by Caroline Berry of the infamous now chef's kiss, Gavin Casas, after your 2 home run day in the Clemson game. Of course, Gamecocks winning that game 7-1. You can go get everything from a base card, which is just $9.99, or you can go up a few levels, and there's even a limited edition autograph, just a 1 of 10. So pretty rare card. And Gavin's going to autograph some of them, and you can order those right now through Garnet Trust. Again, that's store.garnettrust.com, or you can go to garnettrust.com and click on shop and check those out. So pretty cool. Have you had your own? Did you have any of like the perfect game trading cards or anything like that in the past?
Yeah, no, I had the perfect game trading cards, but this definitely blows that out of the water.
Yeah, you didn't have the chef's kiss back then, for one thing.
Have you seen the picture that's on here? Like that's
legit.
Pretty sweet. We got. I mean, you said this is Caroline Berry that took this.
Caroline Berry took that photo.
That is a great photo of the chef's kiss. Like that is professional, and some of them have the signature. So we were watching Gavin sign some shirts earlier. He signs righty and lefty. How did that come? And why do lefties do things so weird? Like so Gavin, what do you hit? You hit lefty. You throw righty. You right left, but then you right sometimes right. You sign your name righty. You do the number lefty. You eat
righty.
How? Why? How?
We're the Southpaws are definitely a elite group of people, but no, I grew up writing left-handed, and my dad kind of instilled in me that I needed to have a signature at a very young age. So he would give me a blank piece of paper and give me a pen and tell me to come up with a signature and do it 100 times. So that was kind of my free time activity when I was younger. But as I got older, I found it easier to sign baseballs with my right hand, just because if you do it lefty, you kind of like smear it, and it just comes out not good. So kind of learned how to do it righty, but haven't really gotten the numbers down just because it's like you have to be way more precise. So I just kind of switch over to the left side and just knock out the numbers.
And you were telling us before we came on air, you did try the switch hitter thing at one point. Is that right?
Did try the switch hitter thing. I think I was probably 8 or 9. My brother and I both did it, and my hitting coach saw that one side was deteriorating while the other side was not that much better. So he told us to pick one side, and my dad ultimately picked left-handed just because I think he liked the look of the left-handed stroke better, and there's more right-handed pitchers, so the matchups were better.
How much respect do you have for the guys that can do both and then do it at like the major league? Like I know it seems like it's few and far between that can really truly do it on both sides at a high level. I watch the Braves a lot. Ozzie Albies is great. Watching Chipper Jones grow up, but I gotta imagine keeping your swing like in tuned from both sides is an insane skill to have.
No, it's definitely insane. I struggle to keep one swing right. I just can't even imagine trying to do 2 at the same time. But for the people that switch head out there, kudos to you because I couldn't do it. We have I think 2 guys on our team, Will Tippin and Xander Buchanan, that do it on our team, and they're in the cage nonstop. I mean, they are probably the hardest working hitters that we have. They're always in the cage. They're always working. I think an interesting thing that you said about Chipper Jones, I don't know if this is true or not, but according to our coach, he said that Chipper Jones only felt good on both sides for like 2 weeks out of the season. So for switch hitters, it's not an easy life just because you're always searching for it, but they make it work, and they're special people.
I do feel like a sweet left-handed swing is prettier. Maybe that's just my opinion.
my biased opinions as well.
Yeah, I love a good lefty swing. There's just something about it. It just looks better. How do you decide? So I understand how you came to the decision, you and your dad came to the decision to go, primarily lefty, but like with the other stuff, riding, kicking a ball left-footed, whatever, like how do you decide? Because like me, so I'm full out right-handed, except for one thing. It's a weird one. I shoot basketball left-handed. I don't know why. Yeah, Wes didn't know that.
I did not.
I don't know why. It just felt more comfortable. Like, do you just kind of try it out and you're like, this one's a little bit better?
Yeah, so I'll go to the writing portion. The writing portion, I think I was younger and I just picked it up with my left hand and started writing. And I think my dad like forced it in my right hand. And I was just so stubborn that I just kept using my left hand. But I think, they gave me a lot of leeway with what I could and couldn't do. So they kind of let me free reign on it.
And I didn't think about that. So like my youngest daughter is left-handed, like does everything left-handed. And I mean, y'all have to do some things that I don't really think about. Like if I was I'm sitting right next to you, but if we were like right beside each other, we'd like be bumping into each other if we were trying to write. Like I just didn't think about that stuff.
No, and also like in classrooms, the desks, they're primarily right-handed desks, so they have like this arm thing that is for righties, and like the lefties are just so left out. But they always have like 2 or 3 of them that are left-handed, and I make sure to like get to class early and like, okay, like that's my desk.
Also with writing left-handed, you get either, depending on what you're writing with, like the ink smear or like the graphite smear from pencils on your hands too, right?
No, in elementary school when we used to write, because now everything's on iPads and like computers. But back in the day when we used to write, I used to walk out of school with this whole left hand like full of graphite, and it's just like it looks like I'm dirty, but I'm really not.
We got some questions from the Insiders Forum on GamecockCentral.com for Gavin. Do you want to hit those after a break real quick,
Yeah,
Tyler?
we'll go ahead and hit a break, come back on the other side, and answer those as we wrap up today's edition of the Garnet Trust Hour with special guest Gavin Casas here on 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. It's the Garnet Trust Hour
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
And back in on the Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game. Tyler, Wes, and Chris. Special guest today, Gavin Casas from the Gamecock baseball team. And Chris said we have some questions coming in from our listeners.
All right, Gavin, more fun this one's from Ryan Patterson on GamecockCentral.com. More fun to hit in Founders Park or on the road?
Founders Park doesn't compare to anywhere else. It's the best place to hit. It has the best batter's eye, the best fans, the best environment, everything. Just it's honestly the best place to hit.
Ryan has no idea how timely his question was, because we were just talking about that. Gavin, you said that even maybe played a little bit into your decision to come here, is just liking hitting there?
No, absolutely. So I think last year we came here on the road and we lost a series here. But hitting BP here, I was like, dude, this place is a dream as a hitter. I think it's pretty short porch all around. I think it's not too short, but like it's short enough. And I think I put a few balls on the street. I was like, yeah, that's cool. So.
Do you have a least favorite in the SEC from what you've seen?
So I didn't play a lot. So I don't really have that experience, but no, I don't really have a least favorite.
So the beautiful thing about Founders too is you have that street back there. That's got to be just like a great feeling just to see a ball leave the park, and hit. So what is, and I know we have a bunch of hardcore baseball fans that listen to the show, so they can picture it. What is the farthest, like, game, BP, practice, whenever, where did the farthest one that you've hit over there land?
Yeah, so I think it was at a fall inter squad. I think it was my first home run, and it went like 450, and I'm not really sure where it went. It went on the street close to that Image Inc. building. Yeah. Somewhere over there.
Felt good.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt really good.
What's the farthest you've ever hit a ball in general? Is that kind of hard to? You probably didn't have a tracker on it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, there's some at BP that go and like some off the machine, but I think TrackMan, that was probably like the furthest or one of the furthest for sure.
Pretty far. Another question on Gamecock Central's Insiders Forum, several more actually. Austin G27, how satisfying is it to have success for a team who you've mentioned took a chance on you when maybe other places did not?
It's honestly a really good feeling because, I know it was a big sacrifice for them just to take the chance and like give up that roster spot. I don't really take anything for granted. I'm happy to be a Gamecock. It's probably been one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and it's just a blessing to be here today.
I actually am going to contribute my own question in the middle of this segment. So, when you're playing first, do you talk to opposing hitters when they come up, if they walk or if they get on base?
No, I recently have. I've always done it, but I think I've made it a point now, just because it kind of loosens me up a little bit, and it kind of introduces me to new people. And I kind of did it during the Clemson series, and I don't ever I'm not like a trash talker really. Like I'm a pretty reserved guy, and I think it caught him kind of off guard when I was just like, "Hey, what's up, dude? Like, how's it going?" But no, it kind of loosens me up and kind of takes my head away from anything bad that's going on in there.
So you just is that kind of what you keep it at? Just like, what's going on? I'm Gavin.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? Where are you from? Like, what year are you? Stuff like that. Like,
you complimenting them on the hit they just got at all? Ever?
I have a pitching staff that I have to protect, so I plead the fifth.
You need to just start like maybe mixing in a little bit of just something to get them thinking. Like, what did he just say? Like, just come up to like the most random things you can think of. Maybe get them off their game a little bit.
What you need is just like have a list of like 10 different random movie quotes. So when they get there, just say those completely out of context. That'll throw them off.
Yeah, probably, right?
I feel like I was telling Wes earlier that if in my alternate reality of MLB player world, I'd like to get on base so I could talk to Freddie Freeman. He just seems so pleasant on first.
Yeah, I mean, Canadians are like notorious for being nice, right?
Do you have a favorite player in the league other than your brother? You have to say your brother, I feel like, but other than him.
No, not my brother. No,
is he your least favorite player?
No, definitely not. Somebody I've always looked to is Joey Votto, which is another Canadian, coincidentally. But no, I mean, he's won a few Gold Gloves. I like the way he hits. I think he's won a few batting titles. He takes his walks. He's hit for some power. He definitely has some interesting takes on hitting and some interesting approaches, and I think it's really interesting to watch, and you can definitely learn a lot from it.
What, was it him that like had never fouled out for the longest time? Like
it was like the record for not popping out in the infield or something like that, which is insane. But
when I saw that, because he finally did, right?
He finally did.
But when I saw that, I was like, "There's no way this is real."
Yeah.
There's no, but it was obviously. Hey, what do you think of the shift going away in Major League Baseball as a lefty?
All for it. All for it. No, I mean, it's interesting to see how guys like Joey Gallo and stuff are going to do, especially with now. I think they shifted him anyway because they took the left fielder out and they just put him like where the second baseman would normally be. But hitting's an art, and I feel like we should be able to manipulate the ball in some ways in order to, steer the ball that way. But, it's not always that easy. And I feel like it's going to make the game a lot more offensive oriented and give those lefties with that little hook a little more average.
Speaking of rule changes, off of that, you've been in college baseball in the era of the pitch clock. Now they're implementing it in the MLB. What is your opinion on it?
I hate it.
You hate it?
Yeah, no, I like to take my time in the box, and it is really frustrating when you're trying to have a clear head and you're trying to get in the box, and you look up, and the pitcher's already in his windup, and you're just like what? Like, you expect me to hit now? And umpires are like brutal back there, so they don't even allow you to call time. Mm-hmm. So you got to like fake that you have like something in your eye or something. And even when you do that, the pitcher's still on the rubber, like ready to go. And there's no they don't know how to kind of control the pace of play. They kind of just let it free reign, and like whenever the pitcher's ready, and like he's going to go whenever he's going to go. So it's definitely something that has affected the game, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's something that you have to adjust to. And if he's working fast, I have to work faster. And that's kind of how I think about it. If I want more time, I have to work faster. So you live and you learn, and you try to do better the next time.
I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah, Cock Attorney 2 wanted to know, how's your hamstring?
Hamstring's good. So yesterday, I kind of felt it a little bit, and I think I just got more scared than anything, so I kind of backed off it pretty hard. And based on the situation of the game, the score of the game, we felt like it was smart to call it early and give some other people opportunities.
That'll do it for today's edition of the Garnet Trust Hour here on 107.5 The Game. Gavin, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck to you and your team through the rest of the season. We hope you continue to hit as many home runs as you've hit through these first 14 games.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, coming up next is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs right here on 107.5 The Game.